Okay, so looks like we're live, and I today am very much looking forward to playing this little game, Teenage Mutant Hero, not Ninja, Hero Turtles, um, and a game on the Megadrive that apparently at the moment goes for about 130 to 140 pounds or thereabouts. So obviously I haven't got that kind of money to spend. So instead, I fancy playing this via emulation. And I'm wondering if it's going to stand up to the hype, in so much as uh, is it going to be worth 140 quid? I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but we shall see. Now I'm shamelessly going to go. Well, I'll leave it on normal, but I'll go to continues up to 5 instead of 3 because I'm going to be doing a bit of talking while playing. And what on earth is he saying there? What are they saying there? Let's eat shell? Let's hit shell? I don't understand. I don't get it. Anyway, Leonardo we can be, Michelangelo, Donatello, or Raphael, I think. Now normally I would go for Donatello. He's much more my kind of speed, a bit of a thinker, possibly thinks too much for his own good in some ways. Michelangelo, I've always liked him, but I've never really felt an affinity for him. Leo, yeah, I can see the heavy responsibility, but today actually I fancy being Raph, because Raphael is simply, I think what I'm in the mood for, a bit of a slightly irritable, slightly angry fella who just wants to kick the crap out of people who mess with his beloved city. I do love this opening. Shredder has returned from Dimension X. It's only a matter of time before I conquer the world. I love that Shredder was voiced by is it Uncle Phil from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's just amazing. When I made that, well, when someone else made that connection for me, I was very impressed. Okay, come on, Raph. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? That's a pretty good sprite. I'm not sure it's 140 quid's worth of sprite, but... Now, interestingly, I have played a little bit of this with Donatello. I'm sort of testing out the quality of the emulation. And Donnie has more or less the same sort of move progression. So strike, spin, as Raphael does here. And I wonder if that's just the same for them all. I can imagine it being the case with Mikey, being able to just swing his nunchucks and this kind of thing. Oh, that's quite a nice move. That was a good move. Little grab and flip. Of course, we start off in the sewers of New York. And presumably this is the Foot Clan. I mean, they don't seem very ninja-like though. They seem a bit more as though they've just come off Streets of Rage or something. Now, of course, I have been basking in my love of turtles the past few days. Ever since I did that video where I was examining the image of Leonardo meditating by the stream, I've just been going on a little nostalgia tour of various toys and okay, games and things that I have lying around. And one of the figures that I sort of almost forgotten about, but as soon as I saw it, I re-remembered, was a transforming turtle. It was Donatello, and you sort of basically, I think it's mutating. So the turtle sort of folds up into his own shell, and his feet become his front paws, as it were, or his front legs. Oh no! And it's almost like he's doing a really aggressive squat or something into his own shell that turns him into a baby turtle version of himself, so sort of pre-mutagen, which is quite cool. And I think I found that really exciting as a kid because it was a transforming turtle. It wasn't a transformer, but it was sort of, you know, in that sort of realm, and you could do the whole, you know, turtle meets the ooze, turtle transforms into or mutates into ninja storyline. You could just play the whole thing out. Oh, good morning, Beck. Never played this. Neither have I. I was just explaining that one of the main reasons I've never played this is because it's so damned expensive. It's 140 quid online to get hold of this. So obviously I'm emulating it. I've always been curious. This and Turtles. Oh, what's it called? Turtles Out of Time, I think. Is that it? The SNES game. Oh, Raph. Burning through lives here. Definitely did better with Donatello during my test play. Of course you're going to say that though, aren't you? Eat some pizza. Get some health. But as I say, crucially, these are the Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. Because for some reason, especially here in the UK, there was a problem with the word ninja. I think it's this idea that we'd all become hired assassins. Pretty good though for a beat 'em up. It is pretty good. It's a little bit repetitive. It's not as, doesn't feel as in depth as Streets of Rage, if I'm honest. It's not as, you haven't got the grapple ability. You can't. There's not really a special move to speak of. There's a dash. So let's see. A is attack. So depending on your status, i.e. on the ground or not, changes. That could become an air kick. B is jump, and C is dash across the screen. So presumably to sort of run to meet your enemy, I guess. So I'm hoping it doesn't get too repetitive to play. But again, it's one of those things where just imagine if you paid 140 quid or something for this. I'm not sure how I'd feel about that, but it's good. The music's good. The sprites are nice and clear. I'm really liking this emulation site. I did share a link in the comments last time when I was playing Robocop vs Terminator, and I'll share the link for this emulation as well in the video description after the stream. Because actually they seem to have a really clean emulation style. The music doesn't change too much, i.e., you know, the speed of the playthrough doesn't alter drastically. Like I say, the image is nice and clean and crisp. So yeah, it's a good site, definitely for Megadrive games at least. Of course, color-coded clan members. Foot clan members, that is. I've also started reading Batman vs the Turtles Part 2 in the past few days. That's been fun to get into, and I love the way that they, with the IDW run of the Turtles, they're really emphasising the ninja part of them. This is something I picked up on when I was talking about the first Batman vs the Turtles book. Is that they emphasise that the Turtles can go, you know, toe to toe with the Bat, you know, and so on and so forth, and it's good. And this one is set in New York as opposed to Gotham, and Bane has made his way to New York City and is causing chaos as he would, because, you know, they used to Shredder, for goodness sake, who obviously in the comics was much scarier than he was in the cartoons. In the cartoons he's a bit of a bumbling idiot, but anyway, it's good, and the whole thing starts out with a sequence that you presume is going to be someone having just met the Batman. He's on the phone going, "Oh, I've just met, 911. I've just been rescued by the scariest thing I've ever seen." And turns out it was Michelangelo flying by on a hoverboard. but it's all sort of framed. They said shot. It feels like the opening to a movie in that sense, but it's framed very sort of, yeah, like the opening to a slightly scary Batman movie. It's good. This cave is creepy. That's not a cave. That's the sewers, man. Come on, get out. You should be used to the sewers. Now, pizza. That is, I think, a trap. Is it gonna? Yep. There you go. Dodge the car. It's funny. I've definitely. I think as a kid, I think I had I did like Raphael as the rebel. More so even than again Michelangelo. It's funny. I've never really been a massive Mikey fan. Well, that was a bit of a waste of a special move. Like the pizza box had a bomb logo on the front of it. Eat the pizza, spin around like a ninja maniac. Shame about the lack of textures in the doorways there, though. Like a super boring grey. They did have a bit of depth going on in there. Yes, I figured I would stream this morning because my friend Paul has agreed, not agreed, sorry, he's available on Wednesday afternoon. We're finally going to talk a bit about the Joker movie in our Elserealm Diner series, which is long overdue, but it's just something I just want to talk about a little bit about it, because it's one of those things where I still can't quite decide why it is that the Joker, in some ways, is such an important character to so many people, and to me, in fact. It's hard to put my finger on it. I think there's an element of rebelliousness. You know, the sort of do what you want, when you want, how you want. It's very appealing to lots of people. But in the case of the Joker movie, it's funny how we both seemingly come away with slightly different responses to it, actually. I was about to say the sprite work is alright, then those doors appeared. Yeah, I know. What's going on with those doors? They look like someone's just done the fill tool on Microsoft Paint or something. It's very strange. So we jump down into the creepy cave, which is, as I say, a sewer. I've got my live stream Haribo going as well. Change of key in the music there, ramping up the action a bit. Ah. I hope I can pick up some one-ups, because it'd be a shame if I can't get far in this game. Ooh, purple guys, what do the purple guys do? Oh, they have throwing stars. Just keeping them out of the screen. Stay away. It'd be nice if you could swap turtles as well, actually. It'd be a shame if you had to play the whole game as one turtle. I guess we'll see. He says, as I'm likely to get past the serious boss in this. There we go. I like the pipes in the foreground, that's quite nice. Oh, blimey. Oh, down to 2. Shell shock indeed. So it's got an enemy kill count as well at the top, 134. I don't know, do the turtles kill in the cartoon? Pretty sure they kill in the comics, but... Puny human. Right. Pizza. What was that? What? That's a xenomorph. Wow, Ridley Scott had something to say about this, apparently. How am I meant to deal with those guys? Okay. They're not that difficult to strike. Strike me down! Ah, bloody hell. Perfect organism meets the mutated ninja. Foot Clan struck a deal with the Xenomorph. Well, apparently, I guess Shredder brought them back from Dimension X, I suppose. Along with the Hyperstone. With throwing stars. I do like the sprite work. The way that Raphael is gritting his teeth is quite cool. He's striking along. I like it. L-head. Should I recognize this guy? You are too immature to hang with me. Okay. Now that's something that's going to annoy any kid, isn't it? Being told that. Oh. Come on. If only someone could drop in and help me. There's a second player waiting there. Oh. Oh. Oh, he's throwing knives. Blimey. Crocodile with knives. Oh. If we can make it past the first boss, I think I'll be happy. And if I can get a chance to get some extra lives, that'd be amazing. Oh. Okay, 2 more life bars to go. Not a lot of life I've got left. Okay. Dodge the knife! Oh, Raphael, man. Please not a ninja. Oh, is that game over? Boo. Okay, press start. Oh, nice! That's the Turtles movie poster there. That's pretty cool. Okay, I'll go with Leo this time. Oh, we're not going to start again from the beginning. Ah, humbug. Oh, that's quite nice as well. I like the bit more range on him with his swords. I guess the size are a bit more difficult, and they often are, I think, in Turtles games. Raphael is often the more difficult, which I suppose befits his character. I'm not quite sure what the life bar actually means though. It seems to be trying to do like a gradiated colour scheme from white to blue, but it's actually just 3 different colours. It's white and blue, and then blue. So presumably that's yeah, okay. So that is a full life bar. It's not 4 plus some shield or something. There we go. Oh, come on. Yeah, it's funny actually. I definitely prefer Streets of Rage. It's got there's a sort of certain, not quite sure what the word would be, but you have to be in the same plane, exactly the same plane as your enemy, in order to get hit. The hit detection is interesting, which isn't not a massive complaint. It just means that you have to get used to it. There we go. Where are these guys? Okay, so we're not starting right from the beginning. That we're starting from this sewer section. That's quite nice, actually. pseudo there. Oh, the xenomorphs. Okay, can we... No. See what I mean? You have to be exactly the same plane as them to get a hit. There we go. Although they can get hit on me no matter where I am. That's not fair. In terms of the plane. But I suppose they are the perfect organism. Ah! Xeno Crisis. Was that a game on the Megadrive, I think? That, am I confusing things? But there was a game that very much had essentially the alien from the Alien movies in it. Which I'm surprised they were allowed to do. Then again, wasn't I think Spider-Man, Batman turns up in possibly a Turtles game, I think. Japanese version of a Turtles game. Anyway, I'm rambling. Too immature to hang with me. Okay. Oh, he does that boxing stance. Yeah, the reach is much better with the swords, though. It's not to be hit by the knives. So. Dodging many charges. Yeah, much better, much better. Dodge the knives. Yes, he's making the sound and looks a lot like the sprite of the one of the bosses in the Game Boy version of Link's Awakening, actually. The fish. That's it. Yeah, the fish when you're beating the fish up. It's that wide-eyed look of, "Oh, Leo, you're letting the crocodile rush you." I said though, crocodiles can run very quickly when they want to. Or is he an alligator, maybe? I've been beaten by a bunch of teenage turtles. We've been beaten by one of them, at least. Team 1, New York City. Clear, Cowabunga. Scene 2, a mysterious ghost ship. Oh, blimey. Okay. That must be New York in the background. I guess we must be in the bay. All ninjas can surf. That's just a fact. Question mark pizza boxes. This is really hard. My toes. Oh, okay. So you got to jump over the obstacles. Okay. This is just kicking my ass. Wow. Okay, so they're going for definitely going for the cartoon. Oh, come on! For the cartoony sense of nicely done. Yeah. Not this bit. Right. Oh my god! Shell shock indeed. Right. I've just got to avoid everything. Stop trying to hit it, Leo. Alright, and now we're on to the ship. Ghostly pirate ship. It's just what you expect with the Foot Clan. There we go. It's funny, the so that, for example, that action where you can grab a an enemy and flip them over your head. Whereas in Streets of Rage, you'd have that sort of push forward to grapple, and then oh look, he's tapping his foot like, come on man. Push forward to grapple, and then press a button to, for example, flip them, or to jump, or press A to jump over them, and then flip them from the back. That's not what's going on here. You're just sort of near them, and you're hitting the the action button, and it just seems as though your sprite decides, or the computer decides, at this point we're going to grab this guy. So it'd be nice if there was felt a bit more control over that. That would be good. But it'd be nice if we had some throwing stars or something. I'm sort of missing Shinobi at this point. Oh man, Shinobi. Now there's a game that you needed skill and patience for. Shredder on the wall. Oh no, I got squashed by a pent in a shredder. Right. Come on, Leo, get up. There we go. So I'm guessing this must come at a certain point in the cartoon's run. There must be an element of canon to it in terms of if Shredder has returned. Actually, in Japan, this game I think was called The Return of Shredder. It's called Hyperstone Heist in PAL and American NTSC, I think, regions. I don't know why. Shredder's Return sounds so much cooler, or The Return of Shredder. Return of Shredder. But then again, these are heroes, not ninjas, apparently. Do you see that? I just did an air kick. How do I voluntarily do that? Not an air, a kick high up from the ground. No, won't let me do it. So in that sense, it almost feels completely random, no matter which way I'm pushing the D-pad. You know, you are simply attacking. Attack! And a move is selected for you. Yeah, come on. I mean, it's quite intensive. I wonder if there are more bad guys when there are two players, or if this is actually just the number of bad guys, and as one single player you're having to deal with everyone. Because it feels quite sort of you're holding them off, you know, from one side of the screen to the other. These guys are like Shinobi, aren't they? They're throwing knives. I'm sure there's a word for those things. Come on. There we go. Okay. But yeah, so I don't want to preempt the conversation that we're going to have tomorrow, I guess. But we both have slightly different takes on the Joker movie and what it means for, as it were, the character. I think it's quite a good standalone film. I think it riffs an awful lot of Scorsese without it. I think it's very much deliberate. It's a period piece almost, isn't it? But it's also interesting how, I don't want to preempt. But it's also interesting how there are elements of Fight Club in there as well, which obviously Fight Club handles are arguably much better, much more elegantly. Alright, there we go. funny how the parental backlash back in the 80s and 90s was largely against nunchucks. I remember nunchucks being really, taboo in primary school. I remember my mates, for example, would say, "Oh yeah, I've got a pair of nunchucks at home," and which is nonsense, But if you considered that the other, and it was brought about largely by the Turtles, religious folks or over-worried parents would complain that Michelangelo was popular with the kids and that his nunchucks were an extremely dangerous weapon. And so nunchucks became really, really taboo. I remember, the idea of having a nunchuck was just so cool. But if you think about it, like the other guys, Donatello has a stick, and that stick not only is much more accessible, you can just go and get a branch from a tree or something and make one. But then Leo has swords, Raphael has scythes, which are really aggressive weapons, really nasty weapons in many ways. I think, as ever, the moral panic was pointing in completely the wrong direction when it came to the Turtles. Oh no, the nunchucks! I mean, again, nunchucks are cool and they are dangerous. They are a weapon. But it was interesting how parents really latched on to, sort of clipped in onto the, homed in on the nunchucks. So a couple of weeks ago, I really enjoyed it as a standalone movie, a Joker movie. Yeah, it's a good movie. And I think, as you say, as a standalone, it kind of works. I personally wouldn't mind to see that almost as its own little universe, and perhaps bring in a Batman at some point to that. But that said, though, this doesn't really feel like a Joker who is particularly concerned about grand master plan. Anyway, I'm preempting the conversation. I'll shut up. Yeah, so we'll be talking about that tomorrow. Should be fun. I'll probably get it up on the channel in either tomorrow or the next couple of days. Also, it's going to be really nice to be talking to him. It's been a while since I've talked to him face to face, actually, or face to face, as it were. We take our human contact where we can. The other day I was dropping off a DVD of the Colour Out of Space, the Nick Cage movie, with our friends who were playing Pandemic with. And I drove over. I was giving the car a run, as it were, as well, to the shops. So I drove over, and our friend was out in the garden doing some gardening, and she sort of reached over to the car and passed the DVD over, maintaining social distance. But it was really cool just seeing someone I knew face to face, and she was saying the same. She was like, "It's so weird, you're not on a computer screen." These are strange times we're living in. There we go. But Paul, actually, I've never met in person. But we met through my work. He's an Egyptologist. I'm an archaeologist. And I was interviewing him. And as we were setting up for the interview, I saw he had a shelf of graphic novels behind him. And I couldn't help but think, this guy knows a thing or two about a thing or two. And so we started talking about, in particular, the Batman, and hit it off. So digital friendship. Pizza pie, he says, not pizza time. Pizza pie. So we've gone from a ghost ship into a cavern. Are we going to get to the Technodrome, do you think, at some point? If I can stay alive. Incidentally, apologies if the quality of the stream isn't perfect today. I keep on getting little notifications on YouTube, but I've only dropped less than 1% of my frames so far. But I think it's because my lovely wife is also using the internet for her work. She's doing some video meetings, which I can't say, can you please not have your video meetings? I'm playing Turtles. So yeah, if it's just a little bit of jitteriness here and there, apologies, but everyone's at home, everyone's using the internet. What are these guys? They're like the Thing as a sort of a G.I. Joe figure. Purple boots. Oh, quality seems fine to you? Oh, that's good. That's good. Maybe it's just YouTube being picky about the bit rate. Ah, another life gone. I'm gonna press continue. Hopefully we continue from that level. And let's change up. It's actually a good opportunity to change up the turtle, isn't it? So let's go with Mikey and his controversial nunchucks. Seen to a mysterious ghost ship. We're going to start at the beginning of that. Nope. Cool, we're in the cave. Oh, I like the sprites. They're really good. Feels a little bit as though he's hitting things in the same way that you might hit a what's the word? You know, a backyard ping pong thing. You know, the tennis ball on a string. It's like it all gets a bit excessive. Nice explosive. Oh, incidentally, I went and downloaded Uncharted on the PlayStation, Nathan Drake Collection, and it is brilliant. I've played the first game. I'm sort of, I guess, a third of the way through the second game, and obviously it's getting better and better. And it's a lovely mix of it's like adventure, action adventure. It's a bit of Tomb Raider, a bit of Indiana Jones, a bit of a Clive Cussler novel. A little bit of Nathan Drake is sort of reminiscent of a Joss Whedon type character. Obviously, Nathan Fillion has played him in a fan film, fan short. Which, after I played the first game, I then sort of watched it and thought, yeah, I can see what they're doing here. They've picked up on really key aspects of the character. It's good. It's good. I'm really enjoying it. The only thing I would say is that at the end of the first game, the very last section on the ship, it felt a little bit as though they didn't quite know how to finish the game. It's like they just sort of went, how about this? And it was, yeah, it felt like a sudden sort of, very sudden full stop, given how languorous some of the previous sections had been in the game. Oh, these guys can block. Oh, blimey. Oh, they've got like essentially police batons. Yeah, how sort of big and drawn out the previous sections of the game have been. It felt a little bit rushed, but you know, that's fine. I've heard, my understanding is that the second game is better, and the third game is arguably better still, and the fourth game is arguably better still, so I'm looking forward to playing more. Definitely going to get Nathan Drake, so Uncharted 4, when I complete the collection, 1 to 3. And then of course I'll have to try the spin-off as well, with Chloe. How'd you get past these guys who are blocking? Making Twitter noises at you. Tweet, tweet! Something else I always used to love drawing, incidentally, going back to drawing turtles, was the shape on the back of their shells. I loved that hexagonal pattern. I mean, heck, I just loved drawing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as a kid. They're magnificent. I was watching the Toys That Made Us episode on the Turtles, and the creators of the characters was just riffing on, it'd be cool if the Turtles were ninjas, and they each sort of drew aspects of the characters, and I think that comes through in the design. They are joyfully drawn, and you can take them in any direction. You know, as they did in the original comics, they can be quite dark and ninjas from the underground, or you can go with this brighter interpretation. I think it's one of the reasons why they're fairly timeless, actually. 4 is brilliant. It's a very pretty game too. I took a lot of screenshots on my playthrough. Yes, that's something actually that I've recently, strangely enough, I've recently reattached my Wii to the TV downstairs. I did briefly. We had the Wii upstairs, then we had the Wii U upstairs, and that's basically our bedroom console that we stream things on and play games on lazy Saturday mornings. And then the Wii was just floating around. It was in a cupboard. Couldn't want to. Oh, hey, hello. You look delicious. I'm hungry. Some turtle soup. Some turtle soup. This is Rocksteady. Yes, it is. Yeah, so I've recently reconnected my Wii to the TV downstairs, and I'm loving it. I'm so glad I didn't get rid of it, because the Wii and the Wii U both absolutely have a place in my life. I don't need to just have the Wii U. But the Wii is good because it's a relatively small console, and if you know what to expect from it, it's still very serviceable. But the one thing I'm missing, or the one thing I was playing through Resident Evil 4 the other day, on a Saturday morning, and I'm missing the ability to do screenshots. I really wanted to do a screenshot and just sort of share it with the world, but I couldn't, because that was a time before screenshots were a thing on consoles. So it was interesting just going back that little bit and getting that sort of, no, sorry, you can't do this. But yes, I imagine number 4 will look gorgeous. Frankly, the remasters of 1 to 3 are very passable. You can see, how some textures and Shredder's Hideout. Wow. Some textures and models are a bit simpler than other PlayStation 4 games. But of course they are. They're not PlayStation 4 games. Shredder's hiding out on the beach. I really need to watch the cartoons again. I'm wondering if if I should recognise these robots. I'm also really happy that the emulation lets you do. It hasn't made me start the game over and over again every time I've died. I'm really chuffed with that. It's been actually a. Yeah, I like to have a playthrough or a live stream that has a sense of progress, So I suppose in summary, what I would say is this is a very repetitive game. This is not Streets of Rage. It's Golden Axe, something like that. It's much simpler in terms of gameplay feel, but it's entertaining and it looks quite cool actually. You take a lot more screenshots lately in your games. Playing Sea of Thieves at the moment, it's great for screenshots, as you can imagine. Well, yeah, I guess imagine this. Certainly things like sunrises and sunsets. Actually, I think I might have seen one of your screenshots on Twitter of a sunrise or sunset. On the last game I worked on, I spent some time before the release in our photo mode, took some screenshots for promotional purposes, which was a lot of fun. Photo modes in games are really very cool, actually. They're a very good idea. So I've been having lots of fun with the Spider-Man photo mode on PlayStation 4. But you were disappointed that Doom Eternal locked the photo mode until your second playthrough. Maybe they just didn't. They wanted you to, have the. Oh wow! Oh my God, you got burned there. To have a pure experience, not be distracted by capturing it, just experience it. Maybe that's what was going on. It's id, isn't it? I think id Software do Doom Here at id, we believe in the purity of experience. I loved the in Uncharted 1, Drake's Fortune. I loved the Eldorado twist. That was quite cool. Yeah, in that sense, I sort of said on my my work Facebook, because it's an archaeological game. I said that it's a game that's full of sort of familiar tropes. Oh, you don't have time for a second playthrough? Well, yeah. Indeed, we don't all have that that luxury. But I was saying it's a game that's filled with familiar tropes. Things like, you know, Lost City, single adventurer, bad guys in a race to the treasure, so on and so forth. Even right down to the twist, which, if people haven't played the game, it's an old game, but I hadn't played the game until recently. I won't spoil, but it's not dissimilar to the most recent Lara Croft Tomb Raider movie, shall we say. It's not distinct from that, too distinct. But it's the delivery, you know, familiar tropes, but done well. You don't have to be super original to do something really entertaining, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, hoping the second one plays out well. I'm liking so far the back and forth, the sort of, because he starts out in a train wreck, doesn't he? And there's, you know, the question of how did you get here, and then the game sort of answers that through gameplay. Like a Christopher Nolan movie or something. Or, you know, those occasionally a TV series will have one of those episodes, won't they, where how did we get here? And that's the whole point of the episode. Which actually is one of my favourite Firefly episodes, actually, where Malcolm Reynolds is bleeding to death on the floor of the cargo bay, and then the episode is all about how he got there, and then eventually how he gets out of that situation. Ah! Stop blocking me! There we go. Oh, come on. I suppose if he blocks me forever, I never get to Shredder. So he's sort of doing his job as a henchman, I suppose. Come on. Oh wow, I'm suddenly being properly beaten up. Oh, these dog things again. I hate them, I hate them, I hate them, I hate them, I hate them. I bit my finger, that was quite a nice little detail. There we go, cool. Wagging your hand to get the robo-dog off your finger, that's quite nice. Oh, I fell into a cave. I wonder if that's a translation from Japanese. Given, yeah, I say Return of Shredder with the Japanese name for the game. This cave is creepy. It's just a weird little phrase, especially in the new sewer manhole cover. To have the turtle say that, it's a bit weird. It's probably a catch-all phrase for any hole in the game that you might fall into. Okay, this looks a bit like a Shredder's hideout type place. Japanese mansion. There was an excellent TV series a couple of years ago on BBC which looked at Japanese art in 3 distinct areas. One of them was, I think, painting and drawing. Another one was architecture. The Japanese life, that was it. Life and art. Architecture. And then there was another one which was involved things like, for example, flower arranging. But the architecture episode was really excellent. It examined some truly beautiful old Japanese houses and explained the reason for lots of their architecture was linked with the fact that they live in a country that's rife with earthquakes. Historically speaking, it was just better and easier to build in wood for a start, much like parts of the US, I suppose. Where you're likely to get maybe a tornado tear your house down, build in a material that you can replace easily. And then there are things like the craftsmanship around that. The way that Japanese carpentry has developed over the years. Now these look like spiky things that are going to fall on me. I don't like being underneath them. There we go. Or maybe I just can't jump too high. Or maybe are they just in the background? Obviously, spike ceilings or ceiling spikes weren't part of that architecture episode. Oh, bamboo spikes out. Well, what were those spikes about? Oh, I don't know. Because you can't hit yourself on them. Weird. Spikes can rip out the ceiling though. Out this floor, sorry. Bamboo. Avoid them. Hopefully this isn't just what Shredder's house is like all the time, because this would be really stressful if you need the loo in the middle of the night. Have to avoid the bamboo spikes on your way in the darkness. Ah! Of course, the Foot Clan aren't injured by the spikes. It's one of the what's the word? One of the perks of being an NPC character. Ah, my key. Okay, up and over. Come here. There we go. There's a bomb pizza and spinny spinny. So yeah, I think I was looking on Amazon. I think it was Amazon this morning, and this was £134. And on eBay, it's a very similar price. And presumably, it must just be because not many were printed, or perhaps it's something to do with the fact that they are the turtles, and collectors have driven the price up through the roof. It's a bit ridiculous, really. But I think that's often the case with very expensive retro games. Like Little Samson, for example, is good, but it's not thousands of dollars good. These doors have backgrounds, they do, a bit of depth to them. Therefore, shadowing, leading animation on those bamboo spikes would be helpful. Yes, no, I agree. They were just popping up out of the wood, weren't they? There wasn't a hole for them to come through. It was actually something I was going to mention. I wasn't sure if that was being too nitpicky, but I think as a kid I would have been like, how are they coming up through the floor? And the thing is, in a game when they have that animation, even for when a robot dog bites your hand, and you sort of get off kind of thing, you think that they'd have those little details covered, but I guess you can't. It might be a different person or a different team. Oh wow! Yeah, got electrocuted. Little things that help you understand what's going on in the game worlds, though, very important. It's also nice to talk to someone who thinks about that, a lot, professionally even, in terms of game design. Oh no! Layman, laser. Statues. I have to say the flashing electrocuted sprite is quite fun. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Battletoads. There's a series that clearly is riffing on the turtles. I've never really been that into Battletoads. I've got a Battletoads game on the Game Boy, but I think I always just wanted just to play the turtles, you know. Part of the job. Yep. Yep. And I guess it must be a little bit like for example, being an archaeologist, where look, cool, that's the classic what's his name? The classic painting in the background with the sea and Mount Fuji in the background. That's quite nice. In fact, I've got a version of that up there on the wall that's modified to look to have Wind Waker elements in it, which is quite nice. Yeah, it must be a bit like being an archaeologist, where it is fun, it's wonderful. In that sense, it's a bit of a vocation. And almost every taxi I get into, the person who I'm talking to says, "Oh, I wish I'd been an archaeologist." In fact, not even almost. Every taxi I get into, the driver says that to me when they ask what I do. But also, it's quite difficult to switch off. It's often I try to describe this to students when I'm lecturing, which I do once or twice a year, at a couple of different universities, and I'll sort of say to them, "Look, it's." You know, you're entering a world whereby you're going to find it really hard to switch off the archaeologist in you. So, yeah, looking at the landscape, you're going to be thinking about the history of that landscape. Looking at all sorts of societal norms, you're going to struggle not to have a long-term perspective, which most people just don't carry with them. You know, so for example, a small one would be priests and celibacy. You know, from an archaeological perspective, making a priest be celibate is a fairly relatively new thing, and it came about for very particular reasons which no longer matter in terms of, or no longer not matter, but no longer could get as out of control as they did back in the day when priests could marry in the Roman Catholic Church. But lots of people you say that to go, "Oh no, it's always been the case. Priests cannot marry." But no, priests used to have families. They used to be quite happy. It's just when they took it too far, they're having lots of extramarital affairs that the Pope clamped down on it, you know. But anyway, so that comes up often, you know, in society, where people often joke about the Catholic Church, or they'll joke about, you know, paedophilia and whatever. And you sort of say, well, actually, why not just go back to letting them marry? You know, if that's an issue within that organisation. And that's just one instance, you know, where it's hard to switch off the fact that actually, for most people, they don't see 1,000 years, 200,000 years worth of stuff leading up to now, you know. And I guess it must be similar with games, you know. Most people don't see game design. They know if they like a game. Often that's because of good game design, I think. But then again, I suppose lots of people who play games will appreciate good game design, even if they can't always, as they'll always describe it. I think I often appreciate it when a game, even if it's a crappy game, does something interesting, or pushes some sort of boundary. Yeah, it used to be the case that, I mean, I remember when mirrors were impressive. You know, when playing on the N64, I'd get very excited if I went into a room and there was a reflection of my character. Often it was a fairly dodgy reflection. But even now, it's not a sure thing. I was playing The Sinking City on PS4, and in that game, for mirror reflections, they just have this murky shadow. And I understand why it's going to be difficult to do, but given that, for example, on the GameCube, the wonderful Luigi's Mansion made use of reflections as a gameplay element. You know, they'd show you a button or something on the near side wall in the mirror, and you'd have to spot it and respond to that. That was wonderful, and it's such a small thing, but I really appreciated it. For my dissertation, I looked at defences from the past 2,000-ish years, trying to build a vertical level that was balanced, since people normally have, people above normally have the advantage. Interesting. That's very interesting. What did you take away from your defences from the past couple of thousand years? Because I suppose earthworks would be an element of that. You'd have, I guess, wooden defences, stone defences would be covered in that. And then how people approach them and attack them must have been part of it as well, I guess. Interestingly, in the Iron Age, so sort of just pre-Roman in Britain, for example, not all defences, it seems, were for defence. You'd have earthworks which were built to look impressive when approached from a certain direction, but actually they wouldn't fully encompass the site. They would be essentially almost like a horseshoe with all bits missing in that horseshoe. Master! Oh no. This Splinter's underling, Tatsu. So the defences wouldn't necessarily be militarily viable. Often they'd have, say, hills overlooking them, etc. It's because they were designed to make an impression, not necessarily to be defended in ground combat. You can link to it if you like. 20,000 words, though. I'm happy to read 20,000 words. Yeah, go ahead. Tell you what, share it with me on the Facebook page. I'll take a look there. That'd be grand. Thank you. Very interesting. I would offer you to read my dissertation, but it's about personhood in the past and agency. It gets a bit esoteric. More xenomorphs. So Tetsu, I wonder if that's the sort of the penultimate bad guy. You will do, yeah. I look forward to it. I'll take a look. Something that I've been vaguely thinking about trying to do is get into basic game coding, and there are a few different courses I'm looking at online. But don't worry, I'm not going to bother you about that. I've got a friend who is a purple crocodile, who's a mechanic, and he always introduces himself as well, it depends, but he'll often say he works in a call centre or something like that, because the moment he says he's a mechanic, people say, "Oh, I've got this problem with my car, this funny little noise," and he's just like, "Oh, I'm here for a party. Why don't bother me about your car." Thankfully, it's not often that I'll well, actually, that's not really true. Actually, often people in random places will just go, "I found this thing in my garden. What is it? How old is it? Is it worth anything?" That's what archaeologists get. Well, what that looks like, it's a broken teacup, and it's from the early 1900s. And no, it's not worth anything. It's very, very pretty, though. Again, the music's pretty good. This feels like this could work in an arcade. Again, if it just felt a little bit more solid in terms of the relationship between button presses and what's going on. Yeah, a bit more of that Streets of Rage kind of arcadey control would be nice. I like the spinning sprites as well. Again, in some ways, there's so many lovely little details in this game, but it's just not. Well, actually, it's up in the background, isn't it? Let it down. Oh wow, this is just a level of bosses. Come on, Rocksteady, man. I've got grenades now. Blimey. Machine gun. Go jump to a meeting. Cool. Yeah, you have a good day too. I might see if I can complete this before I finish. But it's been good chatting. I'm really enjoying these live streams and the ability just to have a bit of a chat. It's what we all need at the moment, is it? Chatting with people not in the house. Reminder of common humanity. And the ability to play games badly. Come on. Damn it, Rocksteady. Down to 0 lives. Oh. I bet Shredder's going to be really cheap. Wouldn't surprise me in the least. Oh man, they're alive. He can kick? What is it in the trailer for Star Wars Rise of Skywalker? They fly now? I think I'll stick with Mike. The Gauntlet, yeah. Okay. Are you seen too? Oh cool, I'll keep an eye out for those. Presumably on YouTube, I guess. Or is it Twitch? If you're already gone, I'll ask some other time. Ah. It's a pain. Maybe the problem with nunchucks, looking back on it, is the fact that you're more likely to injure yourself. Yeah, swinging them around and bashing yourself in the face. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's why my parents were so bothered by them. Okay. Push the knives. Again, if there were two of us, this would be hopefully a little bit easier. Got a pretty good punch. Okay. Oh, stupid knives! Okay. So Rocksteady next. Terrible, terrible. Get the time. Mate. Just want to see Shredder. There we go. Let's get into a bit more of a rhythm now. We not land on the guy. Yeah, this is where a bit slightly more precision control would be nice. Presumably though, with the popularity of some of the SNES Turtle games, that control must be present. It's just not quite here. And I don't think it's emulation. Like the emulation of the of Robocop vs Terminator was really quite good, so I think it's the I think it's just the game. Okay, Tatsu. It's so strange seeing Michelangelo on his own. Dealing with these bad guys. That's pretty cool, so you can flick knives back at the guy. Maybe you could do that with all of them. Like with Crocodile's knives as well. Okay, come on, we can beat Tatsu, we can beat him. It's doable. He's got such a... Again, he is slightly cheap boss. It's a little bit annoying. But that is part of the course. Okay. Problem is, I'm not just fighting Tatsu, am I? I'm fighting Tatsu and whoever else is turning up. Oh. Okay, it's my last life. Can we? I just want to at least see Shredder. Even though I know he's probably going to completely destroy me. One life bar to go. We can do this. Oh! Oh, so close, so close. Yes, okay. Let's get me to Shredder. He blew up. Damn right he blew up. Come on, Mikey. What? Stockman? Oh. Okay. I'm not these things. This really is a gauntlet. We can surely do this. Hopefully. This is interesting. Damn it. Is that being on the right plane thing again? Exactly the same sort of... Hey, I got an extra life. That's good. Just if we've got to beat up 100 guys. That's very good, actually. Very well. Come on, come on. One life bar left on him. Can we do it? Can we do it? Oh, lost a life, but you know, at least I gained that one. Come on, Stockman. Just know when you've eaten. It's like Eggman. He's so irritating. Flying around behind his machines. Hey, my dear Mousers have been beaten. And now, will we get to see Shredder? Dead end. But the detector indicates that he is close by. Scene 5. The final. Shell shock. I was going to say shell down. It's kind of like the Technodrome. Only one life left there. But I suppose I'll be able to restart the level if I die. This level. Get off. There's a conveyor belt in the background. Always need a good conveyor belt in a Megadrive boss lair. Oh. Again, the sprites continue to be really pleasing. That sprite of Mikey trapped in the electricity beam, that's quite nice. Pizza power. It's all about the focus now. Oh, the Mousers, I thought I defeated you. This is like a production line for the Mousers. Breaking through the windows. Is that a usable lift in the background? No, it's like a beaming in area for bad guys, blimey. They beam onto a fried egg by the look of it. Yeah, you back off. You walk away from me, backing up. It's a nice, yeah, nice remix of the Turtles theme there. I even like the sprite of Donatello at the top, just sort of leaning on there. Go Michelangelo again. Scene 5, the final shell shock. I don't think it is, probably isn't the Technodrome actually, because they would have shown it, wouldn't they, if it was the Technodrome? It must just be Shredder's lair. Looking good. Oh, can we get the pizza power? There we go. It's all the little details in the sprite work as well in the background. So things like, I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog is pretty good for this as well. Where, well, and Streets of Rage, and I guess lots of Megadrive games. But like, if you look at the LEDs on the floor there that are glowing in and out, or the control panel just to the right-hand side of the screen, things like that just bring these levels to life. Yeah, and they're relatively, you know, cheap to do in terms of memory. They're just sort of repeating little animations, but they add so much to it. Oh, get off. There's the fried egg that Foot Clan are beaming in on. I just want to see Shredder, that's all. But like I say, I'm sure he's going to be cheap as all hell. He's going to thrash me. Oh, throwing starts to hack. Yes, it would be good if you could swap between turtles. On the fly, that would be kind of cool. Oh look, Foot, red on the wall, Foot, the Foot Clan. I like it. Fried egg. Speaking of which, you wouldn't mind a fried egg, maybe for lunch. Might have fried egg and toast. That'd be nice. Aerosol. Oh, it freezes you. Blimey. Oh, another one. As I say, just imagine trying to make your way through here in the middle of the night, you know. Just be fraught with danger. There we go, extra life. Killed the 100 gunpeg guys. And, as Beck was saying earlier, there's no sort of warning that where they're coming up out of the floor. There's no sort of indicators in the animation. They just appear. Which, considering the details that they put into, for example, things like the turtle sprites, is a bit disappointing. Wow, look at all those! It's like something from Alien 3, all those bad guys, or those sort of... Are they the xenomorphs in, like, tubes? That's pretty cool. I like it. The aliens we've been bumping into throughout this this game. Oh, the splats me. Go. Oh, not more of these guys. My toes, my toes. I've seen in one of your videos that you had the Batman animated series on Blu-ray. Is the quality good? I've got them on DVD, but I want to upgrade. I would say yes. I mean, so I'll just pause it just for a sec. I probably said when I was showing that I had the first two parts of the animated series on DVD. I think they was released in 4 parts, and the second 2 parts were increasingly expensive on Amazon. And so I decided to dive in and get the 40. I think it was 40 something. Well, it might be, no, £38. I think for the Blu-ray box set. And in my opinion, yes, it was worth it. Not only because it completed the series for me, but also because the image quality is gorgeous. It's as one of the reviews. Because I did read some reviews before I got it as well. One of the reviews said sometimes you can even see sort of brush marks in terms of the paint, you know, on the cells if you pause the image. It's a beautiful experience, and I think in that sense it's a crispness that the animation in that series really warrants and deserves. You know, with the sort of the retro future kind of look they were going for, the kind of it's not really chrome punk, is it? It's kind of 1920s, 1930s kind of futurology, which is really actually panned out, obviously, in Mask of the Phantasm, which is included in that box set as well. So a Blu-ray version of that movie. It just makes it all sing. The lines are crisp. The animation quality is high. And it's been made with love, especially it's presented in a book, as I sort of probably mentioned in that video. Each disc has its own page, and it's good. It's good. Hope that's not too long an answer for you. Krang! I'll show you the power of Super Krang. Okay, Blimey. Oh wow. Flew away. Can I hit him? Oh wow. Oh, I love how Krang's arms come flying out of his little stomach cavity there. Ah! I'm not going to get to see Shredder, am I? Unfortunately, I haven't got much longer. It's almost midday and I've got some stuff to do, but I'll hang on for as long as I can. Ah, rats. There we go. So yeah, so I do still have the first two parts on DVD, because I'm lazy and I haven't put them on Amazon yet. But I haven't touched them since. It's as simple as that. I just haven't touched them since I got the Blu-ray. And also watching them on Blu-ray is it's been really nice to do with my lovely wife, because she was aware of the animated series, but she's really been enjoying watching them with a bit more sort of, you know, knowledge that she's soaked up about Batman and his world through living with me now for 10 years or so. That's been really nice. And knowing that we're not going to hit a point in the show where I just haven't got the next disc lined up. It's a nice thing to have. But again, I think it probably all comes down to your, I guess, just to your pocket, doesn't it, as well? If you haven't got 40, 50 quid to spend, then the DVDs will do. Certainly. And we're going to see Shredder! Oh, come on! That's where people jump down, isn't it? And gotta beat them up on the way down. Ugh. So 2 lives to go, well 3 I guess lives to go. So annoying. I do like that animation. Get off my hand! Okay, what next? I always wondered, where do bad guys get their resources to build these layers? You know, they're quite elaborate. be a bad guy building. Well, I guess that's one of the wonderful things about Despicable Me, isn't it? When he's at the bank for bad guys, where they sort of lend bad guys money for their evil schemes. You have to pitch them like Dragon's Den or something. Or is it the Shark Tank? It's another one of those shows. Okay, I won't lie, this is getting a little bit tiresome now. I just want to just get to Shredder. Come on. Excuse me. How long does this left go on for? How deep can you go? Oh, these guys are just melting out of the ground now, blimey. Like Terminator 1000 or something. We must be getting there, surely. Surely. Okay. Through the door we go. Don't go into the wall. Oh, this sounds like bad guy music. Oh, there he is! And he's gonna ruin me. I know he is. Super Shredder. Now I'll show you the real power of the Hyperstone. Okay. Oh, he's got sort of teleporting and fire. My toes, I did. Green fire, like some sort of plasma or something. Oh, I haven't got hope. Oh, making a bit of progress. Dodge the fire. Just, yeah, you see, cheap as anything, cheap as chips. So annoying. If only had throwing stars. Okay, so don't avoid the flames. Try and avoid the. There we go. And again, you've got to be in exactly the same sort of plane as him as well. Oh! Avoid the flames and bash, bash, bash. Ah! Ah! It's the beaming around that's annoying. Avoid the flames and. Right. Well, I'm. Oh, cool! He turned me into a mini turtle. That's really nice. Back to a baby turtle. Let's see what happens if I press start. I'll try Leo. If I start right back at the beginning of that level, I'm afraid that's me done for today. Because, yeah, times are ticking on. Okay, we're back at Shredder. Let's give this a go. Super Shredder. Yep, gonna show me the real power of the Hyperstone. Okay. So avoid the fire. Avoid the fire. Avoid the fire and ah! So with the blue flames, he shoots up in the air. That's cool. Green flames. That's probably the stuff that turns me into a mini, back to a baby turtle again. Blue shoots up in the air. I can hit him. Blue up in the air. I can hit him. That is a very generous restart point for an old game. I'm not complaining though. Ah! Cheap, cheap. Cheaper than a baby chicken. A chick. Right, avoid the flames. Just gonna do that thing again. Yellow again. Come on, do another colour. Green. Okay, cool. Yellow. Oh, blue. Green. Blue. This is very annoying. Well, I'm glad you made it back to the end, Beck. Watching me be completely owned by this boss. But I suppose I do remember this is one of my favourite and least favourite things about Megadrive games is that often the boss would be such a difficulty ramp, difficulty spike, sorry, ramp up in this difficulty, that you would then just have to get really good at the game and keep on coming back to the boss until you defeated him. Stupid flames. So avoid the yellow floor. Blue means he's firing in the air, so I can hit him. Green. Red on the floor. Yellow on the floor. Yellow. Okay. So cheap. Just avoid him. Blue, yes. Ah, and you're so slow on your feet in this game as a turtle. That's something that's really showing its ugly head at the moment. Yeah. Yeah, and you know, and I don't blame the game for having this hard of nails element to make it last. You know, it's frankly, it's what keeps people interested. It kept me interested when you were a kid. You know. Floor, green, red, yellow. Sorry, yellow. 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 Oh, you got my toes. Come on, let me just rid of. Oh, green. Okay, cool. Missed. Yellow. Yellow. Green. Down to 2. 2 life bars. Green. Missed. Yellow. Yellow. Green. Ah. Yellow. No blue anymore. Yellow. There you go, there's a blue. Interestingly, you can't hit him when he's in the flame. It's interesting. Rats! Okay. One life bar to go. Can we do this? And not make stupid mistakes. Blue, cool. Green. Oh, you rats. Yellow. Green. Yes! Is that shredder done? Scene 5, the final shell shock clear. And out come the Hyperstones. Cool. Yay! Game completed! Woo! Manhattan returns. Lady Liberty. All's good. Shredder has been defeated, and our city has been returned to its normal size. Oh, it was shrunk down, I see. Who was responsible for saving the city? The true answer is shrouded in mystery, because they're the Teenage Mutant Ninja / Hero Turtles. I'm April O'Neil, good night. And then the kid photobombing there. And Shredder, I think, was in the crowd. Cool. Oh, I remember that. It's the blimp, the turtle blimp. I always wanted that as a toy. Well, they had obviously the toy. I think it was the handle underneath. You could sort of handle it, almost like a blimp. I don't know, gun or microphone on a handle, fly it through the sky, well, through your bedroom. Michelangelo's loving it. Donnie's piloting. Leonardo's looking proud. Raphael is not liking being off the ground. I don't think he flies very well. Shredder is a conjurer of cheap tricks. That he is. He's a cheap mofo. But we managed to beat him with a couple of continues. With a continue. So could have been worse. So yeah, all in all, pretty good game. But as I said, I don't think it's worth the asking price on eBay and Amazon right now. I think I'm glad that you can emulate this, and I would strongly recommend that you do. If you think this looked like fun, give it a go. See what you think. See how you think it feels to play as well. As I say, in places it's a little bit frustrating, but again, the graphical quality is really nice. Even though some of the lines, the black lines on the top, are a bit sort of MS Paint. The gradient of colour on the turtles there, the fact that each of the bandanas even has 2 different colours going on. There's lots of lovely attention to detail. I like it. I appreciate it. It's good. I think that's the whole. It's going to be the whole screen, though, isn't it? The whole credit screen. Cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for turning up today at a strange time of day. I don't often stream in the morning because I know it's difficult for some people to turn up, especially if they live, for example, in the US. This is just the middle of the night, isn't it? Or early in the morning. So, game level normal, 1p.17. I could have done worse. As ever, guys, until next time, do take care. Bye-bye. Brilliant.